Hello and welcome to Bounding into Comics. My name is John Trent. I'm the founder and editor-in-chief at Bounding into Comics, and we're joined by special guest, the Armored Otter, Jorge Arenas, former contributor at Bounding into Comics. It's good to see you, man. It's been too long.
It has been a long time. It's great to see everyone. How is everyone doing today?
I'm doing great. We got the Matrix Resurrection trailer that just dropped. We're going to be doing a live reaction. I actually watched the trailer already. Jorge has not seen it though, but I do want to shout out to folks in the chat. Bunny with the keyboard, just another red shirt. Thank you for joining us. I think Spencer's going to be joining us in a little bit too, but he said that he'd be watching and then he'd jump in a little bit later. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the trailer, probably play it all the way through, and then maybe we'll just go back through it again and break it down kind of like scene by scene, I guess. Probably not that like that, but we'll see how it goes. All right. All right. Now I got to figure out which screen share I'm going to do here. It's not that one. Is it this one? No. It's not that one. Sorry. I'm sucking at this. Oh, no. Oh, here it is. All right. There we go. All right. Maximize this. All right, here we go. If there's any problems, let me know. Can't hear it, whatever. Is the sound on? Yeah.
Thomas, you seem particularly triggered right now. Can you tell me what happened?
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams.
Am I crazy? We don't use that word in here.
Hi.
Have we met? One pill makes you larger and one pill makes you small, and the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. Go ask Alice when she's 10 feet tall.
Time to fly.
And if you are chasing rabbits,
If you want the truth, Neo, you're going to have to follow me.
and you know you're going to fall.
The only thing that matters to you is still here. I know it's why you're still fighting and why you will never give up. You don't know me. No?
When you want to hang the potion, have fun, so be dead. And the night is talking back home, and the queens are overhead. Remember what the dawn said.
After all these years, to be going back to where it all started. Back to the Matrix.
All right, so that is the trailer, and I see folks in the chat asking if that was Neil Patrick Harris as like the therapist. Yes, he is the therapist.
Well, he was also the narrator in the teaser trailer. What was it, 2 days ago?
With the blue pill one, I think, right?
Yeah, he was. So he was also the narrators on that as well.
So what did you think? I mean, to me, I'm getting the Force Awakens vibes. It literally looks like a reboot, with like maybe some slight alterations, obviously with like different characters and stuff, but playing the same roles and looking similar as well. That's what I'm getting, which is not what I was getting from the teaser trailers, which I thought were actually kind of interesting. And it looked like it was going to be questioning whether or not his whole experience in the first 3 Matrix films was actually real or not. But that doesn't seem to be the case based on this trailer.
Well, yeah, I mean, this could also be a problem. Like, remember Terminator Genesis, where it basically screwed up the entire movie by giving away the big reveal with John Connor. The third act of the movie. So it could, so it could be that being the case as well, because I can see hints of what they might be trying to do, because the entire, you remember the Matrix, the entire point is asking very big questions about technology, mental health and other issues, government overreach. And I kind of see bits of that in this trailer. Even issues with medication, people medicating themselves. You saw that with Neo as he was taking these pills to kind of dull him out a little bit. The Matrix, especially back in '99, the first one, were asking these questions about what these sort of things were doing to our society. So I see that question, them looking to ask these sort of questions again in this trailer. But I am worried too, right? Are they just going to rehash the first film and forget about the last 2 films? I hope not. With that said, are they also writing a really large check that their asses can't cash either? That's kind of what I'm afraid of, and I'm very glad that I can watch this on HBO Max, because right now with this trailer, I am not looking to go to a movie theater, right? I mean, the teaser made me want to go to a movie theater. The way it looked, it was beautiful. The aesthetics, I'm a fan of aesthetics. I mean, you guys see me in the other streams with you guys. I'm a whore for aesthetics. We've had discussions about shows like Altered Carbon and whatnot. I believe just the palette of the eye is just as important as the ears and everything else when it comes to filmmaking. So teaser hit all those marks, but with this, I saw some, a lot of very old bells and whistles being played over again, and nothing like the teaser. And I was kind of disappointed. I guess I was expecting a little bit more.
No woman in the red dress in this one, though. They make sure to get rid of that. I doubt that we'll see something like that.
Mark is saying she might have a horse stick, so we'll see.
Mark is saying too much SJW hair for me. Yeah, the Morpheus assistant who actually seems to be taking Trinity's place in this film, even though Trinity's in the film, definitely has that haircut. But I mean, I also get it from like a Matrix, because Matrix kind of had like that, you were talking about that aesthetic, that kind of cyberpunk-esque aesthetic, where Trinity did have that short hair.
Well, let me see. I'm going to look up Mouse real quick from the first movie. I think Mouse had it in.
Yeah, you had was she the one with the white hair too?
Yeah, I think so. Was it Mouse?
She had that short haircut too. Trinity had a short haircut. So but obviously we didn't have the purple hair dye in it.
No, it wasn't Mouse.
But you're talking about the aesthetic. I thought this was like a gorgeous scene where the dojo or whatever that he's in explodes. It looks really pretty with the lake on the lake. I thought that was really pretty.
Switch. There we go. Her name was Switch.
Oh, Switch. Yeah, Switch.
Yeah, she had kind
Mouse
of
a dude. Yeah, Mouse was the guy who jacks everyone in.
Yeah. So Switch had it, but I agree. What I forgot. I'm sorry what the user's name was, but no, I agree. What you're seeing with the SJW aesthetic now is the shaved sideburns type deal, right? I mentioned it to you in our conversation earlier this morning before we went live. Star Trek had that with the Strange New World trailer, where I'm like, is this kind of like a requirement for all TV shows or movies now that you have this one woman with like shaved sideburns and some hair on top? Like, it's the new mullet. Like, what the hell is going on? But yeah, it's kind of worrisome when I see this kind of thing, because that kind of gives me a sign that, we're going to have a bad time with the film or with the show.
Michael Cunnyworth is saying that Tank was like the big guy. Like, it's been a while since I've seen the first Matrix, so memory isn't like fully on. Mouse was the young kid who went akimbo and was killed. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Michael Cunningworth, for refreshing our memory there. But Michael Cunningworth is pointing out this. I'm getting huge vibes on this too, because this is what I said. This is the Force Awakens vibes I was getting. It's a remake of the first film to try and lead into another trilogy. That's exactly what I was getting. And Michael Cunningworth says here, I suspect this movie is going to be a transition movie to a new cast and new trilogy. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing as well. Obviously, you have like the younger Morpheus type guy, the SJW hair person, and then that's pretty much it. I didn't really see any other new characters. Because their team like looks kind of small.
And that's
But
what I'm kind
you
of
have
worried
to
about.
stick
Like,
to-
are they going to ice not Morpheus? You know, who's going to ice Neo at this point, right? Because that's kind of what I'm waiting for. At the end of the movie, someone's going to ice Neo, and then there's going to be a new one or something like that. In the trailer, you had someone else that was meant, not the trailer, the teaser, that there's another one as some lady. So again,
Yeah.
you had the Force Awakens vibe there too, where there might be a new Rey type of character coming into. So that's another worry as well. Because if this is what's going to happen, they're just looking to launch into another trilogy, then again, it's going to be the same Disney formula, just with an Warner Brothers aesthetic with cheap cyberpunk feel.
Yeah, this guy looks like a agent henchman. He looks like the henchman that you that Neo beats up. He's not like the actual like rival guy. So I don't know. This is like the only agent that we get. So then I don't know who this guy is. I feel like I should remember this guy or something.
I don't know if he's a guy. Like, is he his boss from the last job? Like when we first met Neo? I don't remember him.
I feel like this guy's supposed to be like a big member berry, and I don't remember him.
Yeah, seriously.
Because it's almost like, to me here, this was kind of like the most interesting part where this guy says like, "Are you go back to where it all started,
To
the Matrix?"
Yeah.
Potentially saying like he's like he like created the Matrix or something. So maybe like the Matrix isn't actually like everything that we saw wasn't in the first three movies was actually what we thought was the Matrix wasn't the Matrix, and the Matrix was like that. All of those movies, like the robots like taking over and everything, and it's all was like a simulation of like modern day like tech giant.
Well, the Matrix within the Matrix, like Inception, right? I mean, that would kind of make it would kind of make some sense, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what I was trying to figure out. Okay, how with the way the last Matrix ended in number 3, I was trying to figure out how on earth are you going to get to number 4, because they pretty much tied it into a bow at the end, whether you liked it or not.
Right? Yeah.
I wasn't really happy with it. Most people weren't, but they did a pretty good job of kind of saying, okay, here's the end of it. You know, you got Cyberpunk Jesus here.
Yeah, right.
And
I will say though that they did leave. I mean, they did end it, but they also had the idea where you had like all of these other like ones who like would reset it, and so it's possible like what Neo actually didn't like break that cycle; it just continued it. So I could see that too.
well, yeah, because they're trying to mix in a lot of elements of Eastern reincarnation within the algorithm of the Matrix and elements of Orthodox Christianity, using Neo as that that savior, iconic figure, Jesus savior figure, right? So that's what made it kind of weird, because they were trying to blend those two together throughout the original trilogy, and in some places it kind of worked, and other places, especially at the end, it didn't work, especially towards the end where you had the older lady that I can't remember her now.
This is her. This is the new version of her. The
bookkeeper? No, what the heck? The Oracle?
The Oracle,
the Oracle. I feel like, to me, this is the Oracle again.
Yeah, that's what, I
Yeah.
definitely got that vibe.
The young version of the Oracle.
Yeah.
Michael Cunningworth was saying that this was saying this might be the new architect, and then obviously, like, you have the younger Morpheus and
Yeah,
the
the
younger
Morpheus.
Trinity, and this is like the Trinity character.
Is that Trinity? Oh, wow.
To me, it's like the Trinity character,
Right.
The archetype,
But-
yeah.
because obviously Trinity is
Yeah,
in
because
it,
Trinity's there.
and then she's right there, still looking good. Carrie-Anne Moss looking good.
She really is.
Mark is saying many of the actors are de-aged. I don't know. She doesn't look de-aged to me. She looks.
Carrie and Keanu don't look. I mean, Keanu obviously looks like Wick.
Yeah, he looks like John Wick with the long hair, and that's
Yeah.
probably because he was filming John Wick at the same time. I talked to Spencer about that yesterday, so yeah, that's probably why. Bunny with a Keyboard made an interesting point on our, like, we posted the trailer obviously on our YouTube, but was saying here that where was it here that I think they right here. Beneath the keyboard says, I genuinely think that because of my truth BS, it'll end up being pushing the idea that it's okay to be a blue pill, even though nobody should be satisfied with being just a copper top. Like, I didn't really get that. I'll be honest, I didn't really get that from the trailer. It looks like because he like ditches the blue pill, he doesn't feel like doesn't feel right. He gets rid of them. He like takes the red pill right away. Like he's obviously feels like kind of like feels like he doesn't belong, especially in that scene in the elevator where there's the cell phones. Everyone's on their cell phone or device or whatever. The scene right here, and he's just like looking around, like what's going on. But then though, I do see that because you have this guy coming back, and like, do you want to go to the Matrix or whatever? Like, put you back in, where like, because you don't know who he's talking to, so it's like someone might be wanting to get that. Like he did all this stuff with the red pill, and he's like, I need to go back because this doesn't like I don't buy this either. I need the blue pill. I did respond to Bunny with Keyboard's comment on the actual trailer, and I forget the guy who betrays. I forget his name. The guy who betrays the team. He actually does cut the deal with the machine to go back into the Matrix to have like that better life, but that decision was shown as like cowardly, greedy, and narcissistic. So, so you kind of had that, but it was also like that was like the bad decision. Like the red pill was the decision you needed to do to like to wake up or whatever, to realize that you're living in a lie. You're living a lie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys saw in the trailer as well. They also did some interesting things. Like you saw, John, the people in the elevator staring at their phones again, the abuse of pharmaceuticals with Neo. That kind of gives me some hope that they're going to attempt. There's an attempt to ask those questions again that the very first movie really nailed, right? That relationship between humanity and technology. Maybe we'll get those questions again, because that's what made the first film really good for me, at least, was, hey, technology is not inherently bad, but we actually have to have a conversation about the relationship.
That's how you use it.
Right? So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's there, but now what did they do it right? I don't know. Ever seen this other stuff? It's kind of in the air for me.
I mean, there are like a ton of member berries in this trailer, though. I mean, like the guy looks like they made him look like Morpheus.
Well, if he's playing a younger version of Morpheus, I'd assume he'd look like Morpheus.
Well, but if you remember here, though, the guy says like he doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know Neo.
Well,
I'm wondering if Neo.
I thought that was more of like an existential question, like who are you? Like,
oh yeah,
like, are you the one? Do you think you're the one? Like that kind of question.
True. Yeah.
Well, I got the vibe from Neo taking the medicine and seeing that shrink, that he's kind of under some sort of again, that he doesn't know who he is. Like they have him back to a point of some bail. Do you guys know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, so that goes back to like what I was saying, the theory where he continued the cycle, but instead of like he continued it, but he also was able to keep himself alive almost or something. So like previously, or at least in they made it seem that way previously, that the ones before Neo like perished when they had to make their decision, but he's able to survive and like is put back in the Matrix or whatever.
Yeah.
If that's like what they're going with. But like what I said with the teaser trailer, I thought they were going to go more with like that the whole Matrix trilogy was the Matrix and like it was all a dream or whatever. It was all fake.
I mean, they could still go that route, right? I mean,
they could, but I don't. Watching this trailer, this trailer seems to very like it dissuades me a lot from that theory. Like I don't see that anymore. Yeah. Well, the only thing that like really like maybe pushes that is the guy at the end. Like, are you ready to go back to the Matrix? Yeah. But like Michael Cunningham was saying that like this guy looks like he could be just like the new architect.
Here, I'll play devil's advocate. One, it's easy to really edit stuff in a way to make it look one way, then something else come out. I made the Terminator Genesis comment earlier, how that really screwed up the movie. The movie's already bad to begin with, but it wasn't as bad as it really was. in comparison to other Terminator movies. And second, they're it's really not hard to kind of edit stuff around to give people an impression, especially nowadays with the internet. Studios are not going to want to give you the entire rabbit out of the hat. They're going to want to keep you guessing, like what we're doing right now, right? That's me playing devil's advocate. The one complaint I do have, and it was in the teaser, not so much in this trailer, was the scene with the architect right here and the mouth morph when his mouth melted. Ray's was Rage. No,
it's in the teaser, the red pill, blue pill.
Oh, the teaser.
A couple days ago.
Yeah, remember when in the teaser where the architect's mouth melted again, like in the '99 film, and Rageaholic made a very good comment on Twitter about how on earth did they make CGI look worse in 2021 than they did in 1999. And I looked at both. I actually watched that scene again from the original Matrix, and then watched the teaser, and I was like, "I'll be damned! You're absolutely right. How on earth did you make it worse with computing power that's 100 times more powerful now versus back in 99 when we were freaking using e-machines, for God's sakes?"
Dude, James Gunn was talking about that when they did the intro for Bright, and he was saying they hired a animation studio to do it, and he said that the product they got was like absolute dog crap, so they had to hire another animation studio. But what was interesting is the animation studio the first one that they did actually went on to win some kind of like animation award for another studio, and he was saying it was like because they were a small project, so they didn't put in as much effort or something like that. And I can see that. I feel like that. I mean, it's a shame that happens. But people do that if they don't think the project is worth it. They won't put as much effort into it. So it's possible. I mean, but this is the Matrix, so I don't know if that explanation works.
I just had to point that out. I mean, this is a project with some pretty powerhouse people. Who doesn't love Keanu Reeves? It's the Matrix, like you mentioned, right? It's a huge franchise. And if they couldn't even get that right, and then you add in the new SJW mullet style, the shaved sideburns thing, I'm trying to be hopeful because I love the original movie. I tolerated the second movie; it was pretty good just because of that Italian chick. And the third movie,
the second movie has the pole fight, doesn't it, Jorge?
Yes, has the pole fight in the first couple minutes. That was pretty.
So I that's like one of my favorite scenes from the entire franchise. So
well,
I was good in those first 5 minutes, and then fell asleep.
Dude, back in the day when I was doing martial arts, I can't tell you how many like karate studios and taekwondo studios would make you do bow staffs trying to replicate elements of that whole fight. Like so many freaking people would get their asses beat there. It was great.
That's awesome.
Brightest Day is saying this is Matrix in name only. Yeah, I mean, I really got Star Wars: The Force Awakens vibe from this trailer. Like that's really what it feels like to me, because it feels like all the same tropes, themes from the first movie with basically different characters, but they did learn from The Force Awakens not to put Luke at the end. Neo, like a little bit more. He's going to get a little bit more action at least throughout, and it looks like that Neo and Trinity will at least be reunited. So there's that.
Well, you know what scares me about this, guys, is I'm going to have to make another comparison. You're saying a lot of Star Wars Force Awakens. This reminds me of Altered Carbon Season 2.
I didn't see that, but yeah, I've heard that thing.
Season 1, amazing, masterpiece, awesome. You go to Season 2, they get a bunch of CW writers. They spend all their money on the Falcon, which, again, he's a good actor. Nothing against him personally. The writing's atrocious, right? And Season 1 and Season 2 are night and day, and this is what I'm seeing here, right? They're spending all the money in the wrong places, and they're giving us crap.
Yeah, who do you? I mean, this obviously is not Neo. It looks like a woman.
Looks like Trinity.
Is that you think that's Carrie-Anne Moss?
It kind of looks like Carrie-Anne Moss. Yeah,
that's her.
So yeah, that obviously she's gonna come out of the.
Dude, that's one of my '90s crushes. I know that face.
So she's plugged in. It looks like, and it looks like the alien tech. It looks like it's advanced a little bit more now.
I mean, it looks good. I mean, remember the scene in the teaser with the two Sentinels holding down those two guys or whoever those people? That scene was awesome. It was like 1 second or 2 seconds of it that looked badass. That scene right there, where there's another scene with the aesthetics where Neo's walking towards it looked like a bookstore or a bar. That looked great, but some of this other stuff, it just really looked flat.
Shinkai brought it up. I was talking to him for a second in the chat. He said something just feels different about it. I can't put my finger on it. It seems less cyberpunk and less like sense of danger. And I kind of get that too. It feels a lot more like a I don't want to say a generic action movie, but just like any other action movie, and not like The Matrix.
Well, you guys know, this has been a problem with American filmmaking since 2010, 2005. They, in their vain attempt to appeal to a certain country's demographics overseas, their writing has gone downhill. Right? They've really downgraded storytelling to such an extreme. I don't know why, because I've seen foreign films from over there, and it's pretty complex. But to try to garner eyeballs over there, and you can tell the difference in the writing styles between pre 2005 and post 2005. It's gone lazier. The language is lazier, and even the verbiage. It's awful. Just so you don't even have to read a script. Just grab a movie from 2004 and grab a movie from 2008 and just look at dialogue. The dialogue is extremely lazy, and it's very disturbing to see. And that's what I'm afraid of here, because you're not going to have these really good conversations that you've seen, and even in the crap third movie where it was pretty good, and you're gonna get this movie and it's just gonna get worse.
It'll be like Marvel, kind of like you saw it at the end. Like instead of talking and philosophical, it's gonna be big explosion and more explosion.
Yeah,
probably a sky beam.
Watch the perfect example of what you're talking about, Jorge, is if you watch the Avengers and then you watch Loki.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm not watching Loki.
I'll have that drink now.
No, I saw a couple minutes of it, and I saw myself gravitating towards my liquor bar, and I was like, nope.
Yeah, and the movie's also called like Resurrections too, so it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just like,
I'm sticking with my opinion at the way at the beginning of the stream, guys. Right now, I'll watch it on HBO. I have no intention. With this trailer as it is, what it's presenting to me, I have no intentions of putting my feet in a movie theater. Right? It doesn't make me. This is something. Hey, it's Christmas. I got nothing else to do. It's on HBO. Whatever. Right? That's the level of excitement I have right now with what I'm being presented with, which is a sharp contrast to the teaser trailer that I saw the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I know a lot of people don't like the second and third films, and I get that. But the Resurrections does, that end scene where Neo is he's literally crucified, he's being taken up, and then you have Resurrection. It's like, okay, 3 days later, right? He is supposed to be the one, the savior, the Messiah. The city is literally called Zion, that they're trying to destroy and stuff. So, I could see them do, I know you're talking Orthodox Christianity stuff earlier, Jorge. I definitely see that in the film, but you don't see him as because at least right now he's not a resurrected Christ. He's a guy who doesn't know what's going on.
Well, it's confusing because I don't know what they're trying to do. Right. This goes back to my earlier comment where the hits and misses of trying to mix together Eastern and Western religious themes, right? Primarily Buddhist and Orthodox Christianity, small. Are they trying to do a what is it? I'm trying to remember. There was a movie back in the 70s where Jesus pondered his coming crucifixion. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? The Temptation of Christ. I think that's right. Are they trying to do a point to that with Neo where there's some confusion, he doesn't know what's going on? Because it would be a little confusing because one would think that pondering would happen in the previous trilogy, not after the resurrection. But
right.
Again, it's kind of confusing because the way they mix the Eastern and the Western theologies together. So it's kind of hard to try to predict where they're going with this.
Hella Corina says Neo dies or gets Princess Leia partway through. Yeah, I have like that's why I'm saying the end here where they don't show who this guy's talking to. That
It's
kind
the
of
new
yeah.
one.
That definitely leads me to think like because you don't know who this is. Is that actually Neo? Yeah, I think that. I mean, again, I said like I'm getting huge Force Awaken vibes from this trailer because it looks like it's copying all the themes. It's got all the member berries, just like Force Awakens did, and it looks like it's just go. It's basically it's a reboot of the Matrix with a younger cast, and it's like the Torch Pass reboot. It's the soft reboot they call it, right? That's the term now.
Yeah, soft reboot.
Soft
Yep.
reboot, where instead of just actually like rebooting it and doing a remake, they bring in the old cast and they Torch Pass, but it's basically the same movie. They just maybe tweak 2 or 3 little things.
I don't really hope that's not the case because that just means that Keanu, Carrie-Anne Moss, they read the script and they okayed it, which would mean that they just wanted to check, and it would explain why Fishburne and the original OG Agent Smith was like, the hell with this.
Hugo Weaving.
Yeah,
Hugo Weaving is very picky with what he does because he did not come back to be Red Skull.
Yeah, he was like, I'm
yeah.
done.
which explains why he kind of skipped up on this.
Right. Whereas, like, I mean, Keanu kind of tries to do that, but he also did that like Bill and Ted.
I was
like,
gonna say he did the Bill and Ted 3.
So, yeah, Brightest Day says even the title is indicative of modern entertainment, the noun, and then verbs.
Oh, yeah, it's formula.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it sucks because you end up having a lot of people who just know how to work with formulas. They don't know how to create out of that, right? They don't understand that you don't need to copy the template. You look at a template and you're like, okay, this is a general idea, and then you build out from there, right? They just copy it.
They just go from the template, yeah.
Yeah. So Brightest Day says that as soon as this movie was announced, I was asking what the point was. I'm still asking. Yeah, I will too. Like the only thing I can think of that would be like really entertaining and what the teaser kind of was giving me is the fact that the whole trilogy that we saw before was fake. And the idea that like all of that was just like a grand illusion, or he was in a program, the whole thing was, and then you could like have that real like critique where it's being run by some like giant tech company. But I guess that's probably too close to like Westworld. So.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be terrible, and honestly, it would be a vast improvement to what we're seeing here right now, to be completely honest with you. And they can, and if they were to go that route, they would still be able to really touch on some of those really important cyberpunk themes, and even themes that cyberpunk really touches, socioeconomic themes and other socio themes that you do need to touch to that make cyberpunk what cyberpunk is, right? If they go that route. But now, are they going to go that route, or are they going to be safe like Star Wars: The Force Awakens, where J.J. Abrams just beats you over the head with a bag full of member berries until you're black and blue? That's what I'm afraid of. And I really prefer not that.
There's so many of the member berries in this trailer. Like I know when I was listening to Culture Casino stream yesterday, and he had Tom on, and Tom was looking at it might have been 2 days ago. And Tom was looking at the teasers, and he was saying that there were a lot of member berries, and I was like, I don't know. It looked like flashback scenes, maybe like memories.
Yeah, I
didn't really see a lot, but like watching the trailer, there are a ton of them. I mean, like they literally have like this looks like the Oracle, just a younger version of the Oracle. Like this is
like clothes and everything, glasses, like
the guy that they have, Yahya Abdul Mateen II, who plays Black Manta in the Aquaman movies, like he looks like a young Morpheus.
They even give him the glasses. It's
all
about the glasses.
And then you have the red pills, you got the blue pills, you got the rabbit again that he's got to like, if I remember correctly, didn't he have to like follow? He like had to follow the rabbit to like find Morpheus or whatever, right? So you have that. I did like the song. I really liked the song. I thought the song.
I did like the music.
Worked really well, and like the way they like lined it up perfectly with what they were showing you in the trailer. So I thought I really did like that. But yeah, I think I'm with Jorge. This is a watch on HBO Max. Don't go to theaters. Like maybe even wait till like you just wait
It's on
till
TV.
whenever you have a chance to get it. Like you don't like need to go watch
Yeah,
it.
you don't need to go out of your way to find it. Wait for it to come to you.
Yeah. So
I mean,
I like
I hope we're wrong. I mean, I would really like to be wrong. My worry is that they're going to do the Hollywood formula in this, and like you guys said, it's just a foundation for another 2 films. If that's the case, it's going to be dog crap.
I mean, it's called Resurrections. It's got reboot in the title, so
Yeah.
like bring back to life.
So it's doomed, right? I mean, I really hope. I'm trying to hope against hope, guys. I really don't need any. We don't need any more bad news in entertainment. We've been slapped around in the face with enough of that. We don't need that shit. But that's just me.
No, I agree. The problem is that it's the Wachowski sisters. So like, I feel like we're gonna get that. Like they're hiding it behind the curtain, and then you go into the movie theater, and they go wah, and you go no.
Well, yeah, right. It's like the red woman in the first movie. You're thinking, oh man, I'm about to get lucky. Instead, you're gonna get shanked by an agent, and that's exactly what I'm worried about right now. We're thinking it's a really hot redhead in a red dress, and we're about to get walked into a nice movie theater. Instead, there's a bunch of SJWs who are gonna beat us with their massagers. It's gonna be ugly.
I mean, that's not really what we've been saying, though. We've been saying that we think we're going to go to the theater and get beat up, but we're hoping that the woman in the red dress is there. I don't know. That's at least what I've been saying, or that's like kind of what I've been saying. I've been saying that, like, I'm really skeptical. I'm getting like reboot vibe. I really am getting a lot of reboot vibes, and I hope that's not the case, but that's what it looks like to me.
I gotta concur with you.
Yeah,
like that. That's what I'm getting to.
Paul Gibb here says, say that again.
No, just saying, and that would be a damn shame if that were the case.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Paul Gibb says, no one learns anything from Hollywood. They just keep consuming. I'm going to disagree with you there, Paul. Obviously, I think that's true with a lot of people. People are still, obviously, the Marvel films are pretty much the ones that are raking in the big money at the box office, but they're nowhere near as big as what people were doing 3-4 years ago at Marvel films. And I think a lot of people have tuned out. I don't think people are watching a lot of the Marvel TV shows, as I think those numbers are a lot lower than what Disney was hoping. You just saw Netflix post they lost like what was it, 500,000, half a million subscribers.
That, yeah.
The last quarter, I would expect that probably is going to, like, you probably see that trend continue to go down. People are finding other things to do with their time rather than consume entertainment that isn't good for them. And I will say, well, you're seeing Netflix lose subscribers, and I think that the Disney shows aren't doing as well. The Marvel ones aren't doing as well as what they should be doing views wise, at least based on like Samba TV numbers. They're like on par with like top CW shows. Honestly, they're still not like Netflix network. Still not like anywhere near like a network show on cable is doing. But Crunchyroll, I know people have their druthers with Crunchyroll and anime, but like just like 3 years ago, they only had 1 million paid subscribers. They're up to 5 million now, and it looks like they keep going up. Obviously, they just merging with Funimation. So
I was just going to bring that up too. So yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that with Sony. So I mean, you're seeing people leave. I mean, people are finding like it's clearly people are moving to manga and anime. Like with comics, DC Comics and Marvel Comics don't even like show their numbers that they ship to retailers anymore. None of their books are on the top 20 adult graphic novel list. They just don't make it anymore. So
I don't know, man. I gotta disagree with you. I was watching some of that Star Trek day crap yesterday, and because I hate myself and I wanted to be super depressed after work, and I guess for some of that it does make sense for like for comics versus manga, right? Like I do see the bleed out, but for other things I honestly don't see it. Star Trek, they got their new audience, the purple hair weirdos that think they're unicorns and furries, and they're making money off them right now. If they weren't making money off them, they wouldn't be doubling down where they're at right now. Their money's coming from somewhere. right?
Yeah. So yeah,
I just don't think it's from them.
yeah, the money is coming from somewhere, but I don't think it's from the people actually like buying, paying for their
Well,
subscriptions.
here's the thing. It goes back to what Paul said. You have a lot of people who are still consuming.
Well, right.
A lot of the original fans
yeah.
are refusing to let go. If it goes like with professional sports, if fans of professional sports were to take a season and stop watching that crap, these players, those players would knock the crap off within a season and quit being higher than thou, right? Same thing with Star Trek and other franchises. So you have a lot of these other fans who are willing to consume because it's there, and they have their identities attached to it. And unfortunately, and this is my view, right? I could be wrong. I'm sure I am, but we're the outliers in this case. We're not watching. I know I'm not watching. I gave Star Trek a try a couple times, the new stuff, and I'm like, the hell with this. But unfortunately, I know a lot of guys and gals who are watching. They're like, but it, change is necessary. They turn into the aliens from They Live, consume, do this and do that, and it pretty much sucks because now they've become the majority, and it makes me understand why old school nerd gatekeeping was so important, because the second we let go of that, we ended up letting these freakazoids in, and they took over.
I want to get what Paul says here. I really don't know what you're trying to point out here. You're saying, why are you going to watch Matrix 4? I literally just said like a couple minutes ago that if I was going to watch it, it would be on HBO Max. But then I said I don't even know if I'm going to watch it then, and I might just wait till when it comes on like cable or something. It's what I like. If it just happens to be on, is when I said I was going to watch it. So I didn't say I was going to. So I don't like.
Yeah, no, I don't know what they're. We all three of us just explicitly were like, eh.
And I like
even me.
I haven't watched Star Wars stuff since they fired Gina. And
I forget that Bad Batch is even a thing.
Yeah, I watched like the first episode of the Bad Batch just because someone tipped me off on the girl in it, and I needed to write an article about it. So like I'll watch it for like what I'm doing here. I'm Bounty Comics, which is my full-time job, and to like expose the types of agendas that are happening. So if I am going to watch something, it's usually for that. I have not watched Shang-Chi. I haven't watched Black Widow. After Zack Snyder's comments about Geeks and Gamers, I did not watch Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I didn't watch Godzilla vs. Kong because of that either, and I haven't watched Mortal Kombat. So, I mean, I haven't watched any of that stuff. So,
I mean, to be fair, you really didn't miss too much, right?
No,
not at all.
Mortal Kombat. No, I'm with you on that. I mean, this, and then that's what you end up, that's what we end up having to do. You got to put your money where your mouth is, and most of us have done the same thing, right? Why the heck are you going to give money? And I keep beating the same drum. Why are we going to give money or eyes to people who make it very clear that they hate us?
Yeah, you shouldn't be. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't read Marvel comics or DC comics anymore. I just don't read them anymore. I don't buy them. I don't read them.
Yeah,
I don't give my money that way.
Same thing. I don't buy. I haven't bought modern comics in a good 5-10 years now, right? I buy manga. I've been buying manga for decades now. Why? Because they don't hate their fans and they actually know how to write and draw. Go figure that.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's also like I'm gonna watch a trailer and see like, hey, maybe it is something that might interest me, and I might want to go check it out, and it actually looks good. And see. I mean, the Matrix. Obviously, you're getting the woke agenda from the Matrix directors after the fact. They're trying to like say that it's a certain kind of allegory when they clearly had said something different a couple years earlier, or even just like a month earlier.
Yeah,
so
right.
you get that stuff too, but
a sentence earlier.
Heard any?
They've changed that opinion.
Or heard any like woke things aside from like them saying what the film was about as like the original films were about as an allegory. Yeah. So I hadn't like seen any of that stuff. So I wanted to watch the trailer, see what it was, and I there's a lot of red flags.
Well, I mean, it's back to allegory. That's hilarious because they've changed their opinion on the allegory at least 3 or 4 times.
Oh yeah, they keep switching it whenever it's convenient for the current narrative.
It used to be you leave it up to the viewers to figure out whatever they take away from it.
Well, you're
And
supposed
then-
to put themes into your story, right? Like a lot
Yeah.
of it was you had the theme of the you had the allegory of the cave, really the theme of it at least built in heavily into the first Matrix. It's in
Oh,
there,
yeah.
right? You had a lot of Plato. You also had some Marx, and you had a lot of other elements like Nietzsche, especially, right? It was in there, and that was for your viewer to kind of dig out for themselves. But now, that's what I'm afraid of too, and I'm glad that we got into this, that part of the discussion. That's another part I'm afraid of this new movie, is that instead of allowing those themes to kind of flourish for themselves within the writing, they're going to kind of take it like a bag of potatoes and beat us over our heads with it. And that's lazy writing. And I'm sure that's exactly what's going to happen. That's another thing that I'm really concerned about. And we've seen it in this trailer with the way they're speaking instead of letting it speak for itself.
Yeah, Bunny with the keyboard thinks that the new Trinity type person is going to be the one. Yeah, I have a feeling.
I could get that vibe. Yeah.
Well, if she shaves her head, yeah, she definitely is going to be the one. She's got to shave her head. That's a requirement nowadays. And be
I
as
mean, her
masculine
head's
as
already
humanly
half
possible.
shaved though. Look.
Well, you
can
see,
Yeah,
she's
she's
halfway.
got the strong female haircut.
Well,
already
she's halfway to the one. Now we just need to broaden her shoulders with some shoulder lifts, and she'll be perfect.
Oh no, she's perfect as she is. She'll go on and fight giant monsters and blow them up just exactly like that. Is
She's
that
gonna,
her
be
getting
fi-
shot?
she's gonna be 5'2", like flipping 6'3" guys up like they're nothing.
Who is this here? Maybe this is another person on the team. This person that's getting shot at. Ah. Oh, it's her.
I think it's
Okay.
her.
It's the purple-haired one. All right.
I don't know. At least I hope.
Brightest Day says Neo dies. They become. Yeah, that's so typical Hollywood.
Oh,
so I agree.
man. She's gonna become the new whatever that lady's name in Discovery is.
What's your
Michael
name?
Burnham.
Oh,
Ugh.
here's a new
one.
person.
What's up with that haircut? Like,
This is like the Oracle's bodyguard. I don't know.
Oh, the K-pop haircut. Yeah, I hate
But
that
Neo's
one.
fighting.
I love
Neo's
that bowl
fighting.
haircut though.
There she
I wish
is
they brought
again.
back that Jet Li like guy.
The Oracle's bodyguard
Yeah, he was cool.
with the beads. Yeah.
Yeah, he was awesome.
All right. I don't really have anything else to say. I think I pretty much covered it. So hello. Hello. Karina says no. They originally said that they were leaving it up to the audience to take whatever message they wanted from it and discuss it.
I
That
mean-
was what they originally said in multiple interviews,
Yeah,
and then they decided to say that it was a transgender allegory.
yeah. I mean, back in the late '90s, even early 2000s, when the second and third film were coming out, what they made very clear back then, and they changed their mind, was they used the allegory of the cave from Plato. They also used a lot of Nietzsche. They used Marx, and I cannot remember the last philosopher, but he's more of a modern 19th century or 20th century philosopher. But they use a lot of their themes, and they mixed it with cyberpunk, questioning authority, right? Like you saw in Enemy of the State with Will Smith and Gene Hackman, and questioning technology. And they wanted to mix all that together with the Matrix. That was the entire point of the film. And then the audience was supposed to kind of leave the film with their own ideas of what it all meant. That was the entire point of the film, and that to me is why it was such a good film, because it brought together a lot of very complex ideas together. Whether you agreed with it or not, it didn't matter. But the entire point was to kind of present it to you, and then you come away with it what it was. And now, 15, 20 years later, now it became, well, this is what we really meant, which is, to me, is a cop-out, and it really
Right.
kind of
Oh yeah.
it ruined what was an amazing film by two very talented filmmakers, which they didn't really need to do that. They can still do that allegory if they want to, right, with another film, but they didn't really need to cheapen the first film by saying, oh, by the way, we secretly embedded this message. If you go
Yeah.
do this and we're going to do a soft reboot, it kind of sucks, because it's kind of like it's kind of doing like the thing that I hate that they do with tokenization of characters and TV shows, right? We're going to give you a one-dimensional Hispanic or Black character or gay character just because we need the diversity. That's kind of what it feels like when she made that comment. Like, was that really necessary? Because you basically tokenized the cause you're trying to celebrate. But that's important. That's just me.
I dig it. I hear it. Yeah.
Bunny with the keyboard says, I stand by my claim that I don't think Neo will die. He'll just choose to bloop. That's the same thing to me. Like killing him off and like having him right off the pasture. If we
Yeah.
kill him. Those are like What
You
did
know what?
Chuck Dixon said it? That's a distinction without a difference, or something like that.
So I think that's what it was. Yeah.
That's the
You
saying.
know what though? If Bunny's right, I'll watch the film in December. Right? If Bunny's right, we gotta like give him. We gotta harass the crap out of Bunny in a stream in December. Be like, Bunny, all hail the Bunny. We put
All
it
hail
on
the
a
bunny.
on a bunny altar. We have to get the holy hand grenade and throw it towards the bunny.
Put it on the keyboard.
All right. Any last comments about this trailer?
That shot's funny.
It gives me a lot of Terminator Genesis vibes. Shit trailer, right? It was awful. Honestly, when the teaser's better than the trailer, someone needs to get fired. That's just me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it looks better than I would have expected, but that's not saying a lot because my expectations were like they were in the ground. So
Yeah.
I'll give it that, but it doesn't inspire me to be excited for it. It just looks better than what I thought. But it's like we were saying, I can't shake the feeling that they're going to sweep our legs out from under us eventually
Yeah.
with the modern contemporary garbage.
All right, I think we're gonna call it there. Thank you for joining us, Jorge. It's great having you
Yeah,
on.
man.
Love hearing your perspective. We got to do that more often. We are trying to do more of these like daily videos where we're just maybe reacting to what's happening. This trailer came out, so we decided to jump on and do a live stream. So yeah, thank you all for joining us. Appreciate it. Had a great discussion. And we will definitely be seeing you on Wednesday for the Black Pill stream at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then we'll probably be doing another like daily live stream tomorrow. Not sure what it's going to be about, but we'll see what happens. Maybe whatever, like if there's like a breaking news or something like that. So thank you all for joining us. Jorge, do you have anything to pitch?
Yeah, I wanted to say thank you for bringing me aboard. Of course, I love being able to speak to my friends. As of right now, I really don't have anything to pitch just yet. I will talk to you about that later, John, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just am happy that you brought me aboard and I was able to kind of ramble on like a good otter and just let it all out early in the morning with my second cup of huge coffee.
Yum.
All right, Spencer, you got anything?
Nothing out of the ordinary. Just check us out on Banding Into Comics. I got a lot of stuff to write and throw up there today. And then, come back on Wednesday for the Black Pill stream. And then, tomorrow we'll probably be back with another Banding Breakdown.
All right, sounds good. Oh, sounds good. Thank you all, everyone. Have a great day. We will see you probably tomorrow.
Take it easy.
Laters.